In the quaint village of Willowbrook, there lived a devout Christian named Abigail. She was a woman of unwavering faith, her heart brimming with love for the Lord. Abigail attended the small church nestled amidst the ancient oaks, where Pastor Samuel led the congregation with wisdom and compassion. Pastor Samuel was a young man, his eyes ablaze with fervor for his calling. His sermons resonated deeply with Abigail, stirring her soul. She admired his dedication, his eloquence, and the way he cared for the flock. But it wasn't just admiration that bloomed within her, it was something more, a longing that took root and grew into a consuming desire. Abigail yearned to be more than a faithful attendee. She wanted to be the one who stood beside Pastor Samuel, sharing her life, her faith, and her love. She dreamed of late-night conversations about scripture, of praying together under the moonlit sky, and of building a life centered around their shared devotion. However, there was a problem. Abigail was single, and Pastor Samuel was not. His wife, Emily, was a gentle soul, her kindness radiating like sunlight through stained glass. Abigail's heart twisted with envy whenever she saw them together, their laughter, their whispered confidences. She couldn't help but resent Emily, even though she knew it was wrong. Abigail's bitterness grew. She avoided any interaction with Emily, her gaze hardening whenever the pastor's wife approached. She convinced herself that Emily was an obstacle, an impediment to her own happiness. She had fallen in love with him, a love that grew silently and painfully within her. As time passed, Abigail's feelings became harder to suppress. She found herself drawn to Pastor Samuel, seeking his counsel more often, and attending every sermon with an intensity that did not go unnoticed. The other women in the congregation noticed Abigail's icy demeanor, but they attributed it to her intense devotion to the church. Abigail decided to become close to Emily and they became friends, ever trusting, saw nothing amiss and continued to cherish her friendship with Abigail. One Sunday after the service, as the congregation spilled out into the sun-dappled courtyard, Abigail found herself alone with Pastor Samuel. Her heart raced. This was her chance. She cleared her throat, her voice trembling. "Pastor Samuel," she began, "I've been praying about something. Something important." He turned to her, his eyes kind but guarded. "What is it, Abigail?" She hesitated, then blurted out, "I want to get married. To someone who shares my faith, my purpose. Someone like you." His expression softened. "Abigail, I appreciate your honesty, but I am already married to Emily. She is my partner in ministry and in life." Abigail's world shattered. She had hoped for a different response, a miracle, perhaps. Tears welled up, and she turned away, unable to bear the weight of her unrequited love. One fateful evening, Emily discovered a letter in Abigail's handwriting, professing her love for Samuel. Shocked and heartbroken, Emily confronted Abigail. The confrontation was heated, with emotions running high. Abigail, feeling cornered and desperate, lashed out. In a moment of uncontrollable rage, she struck Emily, causing her to fall and hit her head on the edge of a table. Panic set in as Abigail realized what she had done. Emily lay motionless, her life slipping away. Abigail's love for Samuel had turned into a dark obsession, leading her to commit an unthinkable act. She fled the scene, leaving behind the shattered remnants of a once beautiful friendship. Pastor Samuel was devastated by the loss of his beloved wife, and the community was left to grapple with the tragedy. Abigail, consumed by guilt and remorse, disappeared, unaware while she struck Emily. One of her earring went missing and didn't realize it as she fled. The police had the earring as evidence. When it was discovered it belonged to Abigail and her disappearance was proof she was guilty. Abigail was on the run. Abigail realized she cannot keep running, so she turned herself into the police where she confessed to her crime, unable to bear the weight of her actions any longer. She was sentenced to life in prison for the murder. The community was relieved that justice had been served, but the pain of losing Emily lingered. Pastor Samuel was a broken man. The loss of his wife had left a void in his heart that seemed impossible to fill. Yet, his faith remained strong. He preached about forgiveness and redemption, even as he struggled with his feelings of anger and betrayal. One day, after much contemplation and prayer, Pastor Samuel decided to visit Abigail in prison. He needed to confront her, to understand why she had done what she did, and to find a way to move forward. As he walked through the cold, sterile halls of the prison, his heart pounded with a mix of dread and determination. When Abigail saw Pastor Samuel, she broke down in tears. The weight of her guilt was overwhelming. She could barely look him in the eye. Pastor Samuel sat down across from her, his expression a mixture of sorrow and resolve. "Why, Abigail?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Why did you do it?" Abigail sobbed, struggling to find the words. "I was in love with you. I couldn't control it. I was jealous of Emily, and in a moment of madness, I lost control. I'm so sorry." Pastor Samuel took a deep breath, his eyes filled with tears. "Abigail, what you did was unforgivable. You took away the love of my life. But my faith teaches me that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. I came here today to tell you that I forgive you. Not because what you did was right, but because holding on to this anger will only destroy me." Abigail looked up, her eyes wide with disbelief. You forgive me?" Pastor Samuel nodded. "Yes, I forgive you. But you must also seek forgiveness from God and yourself. Use this time to reflect and to change." Emily would have wanted that. As he left the prison, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. Forgiving Abigail didn't erase the pain, but it allowed him to begin healing. And in that moment, he knew that Emily's spirit was with him, guiding him towards a future where love and forgiveness could prevail over hatred and despair. Days turned into years, and Abigail grappled with her emotions. She prayed for strength and for forgiveness. She realized that her hatred toward Emily was misplaced, it was her own heart that needed healing. In prison, Abigail faced the harsh reality of her actions. The weight of her guilt and the loss of her freedom were constant reminders of the life she had taken and the friendship she had destroyed. However, Pastor Samuel's visit and his act of forgiveness sparked a change in her. Determined to seek redemption, Abigail began to participate in various rehabilitation programs. She joined a support group for inmates, where she shared her story and listened to others. This helped her understand the impact of her actions and the importance of taking responsibility. Abigail also found solace in religion. She attended chapel services regularly and spent hours reading the Bible. The teachings of forgiveness and redemption resonated deeply with her, and she sought to make amends in any way she could. Over time, Abigail became a mentor to other inmates, helping them navigate their own paths to redemption. She volunteered for various prison activities, such as teaching literacy classes and working in the prison library. Her efforts did not go unnoticed, and she earned the respect of both inmates and staff. Though Abigail could never undo the past, she dedicated her life in prison to making a positive impact. She hoped that, in some small way, she could honor Emily's memory by helping others find their way to a better future. She learned that love could be sacrificial and that sometimes the greatest act of devotion was letting go. The story of Emily and Abigail serves as a haunting reminder of how love, when twisted by jealousy and obsession, can lead to the destruction of the most cherished bonds. I hope you found the story engaging. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more of Granny G stories.